Hey, friends, judge carefully because you set your own standards, right? That's going to be our thought for day 121 in our Bible reading plan. Is that really what Jesus says? It's what he seems to be saying. Mark 4:24. Consider carefully what you hear. Consider carefully what you hear, he continued. With the measure you use, it will be measured to you, and even more. What? There are a lot of church people, myself included, that need to spend some serious time dwelling on that verse, because Jesus taught that our own standards, right, the ones that we not necessarily obey but impose on other people, that's what we're going to be held accountable to. Right? Yikes, right? It's right. Early in my walk with Jesus, I had super high standards for everybody, right? I didn't have much going on in my life, and so there was no pressure to perform. So it was pretty easy to expect a lot from others and myself, and because it just is what it was. Um, 30 years later, I have a family of six, a business, hopefully two soon. There's two churches that I work with. I try to coach as many of my kids' sports as I can. I'm I drop a lot of plates, and I say I'm sorry almost as much as anything else. Um, I have a little bit more sympathy for people. I still have high expectations for myself. It bothers me when I do fail, um, but I've learned to offer a ton of grace to others because I know how hard it is. I try to offer others the same grace that I know I'm going to need when one day I drop everything, because it's going to happen eventually. Um, I offer, I also offer a ton of grace because of this verse right here. I don't want the standard that I impose on myself and that I used to impose on others imposed on me, especially in whatever comes next. And so I'm kind of hoping self-imposed standards don't count for whatever it is Jesus is talking about here. I do think this is where the Pharisees got it wrong. They imposed super high standards not on themselves, but on others. And then they tried to say it was actually God that was imposing those standards. See, this is when God says, hey, if that's what you want to hold other people accountable to, that's what I'm going to hold you accountable to. Followers of Jesus, we need to do everything we can. We need to have high standards of ourselves. We need to do everything we can to live just like Jesus. But we're not more acceptable because some of us look more like Jesus than others. That's the point of Jesus. If we understood how low the bar actually is, I think we'd be amazed. And then if we understand how much more difficult we make it on ourselves, I think we would be shocked. We say so much that Jesus never said. Judge carefully because you set your own standards. Have a beautiful day.